This review contains spoilers. Episode 8 starts with Johnny and his students on a junkyard. They train for the tournament. Later that day, Miguel is still training. While Johnny talks with Miguel, he takes his phone and giggles. Johnny asks what's so funny and Miguel shows him a photo on his phone. After Johnny learns that Miguel's girlfriend is a LaRusso, Johnny decides to tell him what happened between him and Daniel. In the evening, Miguel's mom invites Johnny for dinner. Miguel's phone rings and he leaves the table to talk with Sam. Meanwhile, is Johnny talking with Miguel's mother Carmen about the past. After dinner, Johnny feels motivated to clean his flat. The doorbell rings at LaRusso's. It's Daniel's mother visiting the family with Louie. They talk about Johnny's dojo and the things happened to Daniel as a teenager. Sam tries to talk positively about the dojo, but Daniel wants her to promise him that she will stay away from the kids of Cobra Kai dojo. In the evening, Daniel tells Sam while she's talking to Miguel to help him out with his mother. Daniel asks whom she is talking to, and Sam says that she's talking with nobody, just her lab partner, which Miguel heard, of course. Johnny continues on the next day with the cleaning, and he even drinks orange juice instead of beer. Miguel is with Aisha and Hawk in a cinema. Miguel talks with them about Sam and Daniel. Hawk tells him he shall just go there and talk with them. Johnny pays the money back which he owns to Sid, his stepfather. In the meantime, Robbie arrives at LaRusso's and meets Sam for the very first time. Then Daniel and Robbie are going to a new training spot, in the woods. Robbie shall train to be more balanced. Robbie wants to tell Daniel the truth about him and his father, but he doesn't do it. Robbie has to train kicks on a tree without falling. After completing the training, Robbie finds Daniel, who tries to do the most powerful kick in the Miyagi-Do karate. When Daniel arrives with Robbie at home, he invites Robbie for dinner, and Robbie, who has an eye on Samantha, says, "Of course." Miguel does as Hawk suggested and wants to talk to Sam's father. He hears laughing from the back and goes there. He then sees Samantha laughing with Robbie. Without getting seen, he leaves. Meanwhile, is Johnny writing a letter for Robbie. Then he hears noises. Daniel's cousin Louie is with some bikers ruining Johnny's car. After Johnny beats them up, Johnny makes his way to Daniel. Is this episode as good as the last one? Let us find it out. No. It's not as good as the last one, because I didn't have any problem with the previous episode whatsoever. With this one I do. So let's talk about the bad things, or let me say the bad thing. There's only one thing I didn't like. That was this extra who looks right into the camera while everyone else is looking at Johnny. Bad extra. Very bad extra. And that was the problems with the episode, which means we talk now about the good things. I like the comparison between how Johnny teaches his students and how Daniel does it. Especially since it seems to look like Johnny wants them also to have fun. I didn't see Robbie having fun except in this episode at the dinner, and he had fun because of Sam and not because of Daniel. In the barbecue scene, Daniel talks about the Cobra Kai dojo, and his mom tells Daniel to tell them the story of how they pushed him down the hill. His son then says that he thought it was a cliff, which shows that Daniel is exaggerating his stories. And it's a nice little detail and shows a bit of a character flaw. This leads us to Johnny and Miguel. They also talk about their past. Johnny tells him his story with Daniel and he tends to downplay certain parts of the story. And what I really liked was to hear his side of the story like this. And now I consider watching Karate Kid, since I remember almost nothing about the movie, and to find out if Daniel was really a Robin, as Johnny says he was. The dinner scene when Johnny is invited by Miguel's mom Carmen was nice. We learn a little bit about Carmen's past and her attitude when it comes to the past. You can't let the mistakes of the past determine your future. It is a powerful and meaningful statement, and Johnny felt after this motivated to change things, and he starts to put his own house in order. And he even starts to changing his drinking habits. Johnny pays back what he owns to his stepfather. I ask myself if this money is for the check he got from Sid in the first episode, or if it is the money for all the times Johnny asked Sid for money. I find it satisfying though that Johnny pays him back with the money he earned with the dojo after Sid made fun of him and karate. We then have a trainings montage with Robbie and Daniel. It was kind of funny because the music reminded me of something Disney related, where you have a bird whistling around and making music. Then we learn about the strongest Miyagi kick, and I can imagine that this will be the special move which Robbie will use to win the tournament and defeat Miguel. We have in this episode a setup for a similar situation to the Karate Kid story between Johnny, Ellie and Daniel, which of course is even more interesting because the parents are now involved. And this gives the story a kind of Romeo and Juliet touch. It is also interesting how Johnny will react because Robbie is now in Daniel's position. And the fight scene at the end was great. And Daniel should definitely consider firing Louis. So, this was my review of episode 8, and we have 2 more for this season. What did you think about this episode? Let me know in the comments below. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and hit the subscription bell button thing. Thank you. Have a nice one. You take care. Bye.
In English, we call them bananas. What's so funny?